In 1974, Gerald Ford became president. Gas was 53 cents a gallon, and The Way We Were was the #1 song. Kind of fitting for this week's Positively Cincinnati. Our Kristen Hartman took a look at UC basketball, comparing today to the way it was almost 50 years ago, because the team is wearing uniforms from back in the day.
What'd you guys think of the throwbacks?
Super lit. Super lit. Yeah, man. For sure.
You've heard the saying, everything old is new again. That is the case for one more big night at the University of Cincinnati in one big way. The men's basketball team's uniforms. The guys who typically suit up like this are time traveling to channel the cool Cats of 1973 to 75.
When Coach Wes Miller got here this season, one of the first things he said was, how do we get another uniform? And one of their ideas, the coaching staff's ideas, was to add a throwback.
So what's different about these?
So what's unique about these is, they say the Cats, doesn't say Cincinnati, doesn't say Bearcats, it just says the Cats. And back then, I guess, they just weren't as strict about it, so putting the Cats on something now would just be unthinkable, just because it's not our official nickname. Meet
Director of Digital Media for UC Athletics, Spencer Tuckerman. He's our throwback answer man for this trip down memory lane, which includes a recreated scoreboard and those uniforms. For just 2 special games, the mid-70s Cats are back.
I am a big history guy, and the teams that wore these uniforms are actually pretty good in the 70s.
He says they played for Coach Gail Catlett, a snazzy dresser who led them to the NCAA tournament in the 74-75 season. In the 2 years the team wore the uniforms,
it is pretty rare to only have a uniform for 2 years.
Home court wasn't in Fifth Third Arena. So first question for the answer man, where was it?
They played in the Army Fieldhouse back then, which was, one of the most historic venues in college basketball. That's where Oscar Robertson played. That's where 2 national championship UC basketball teams played.
Second question for the answer man. What's one thing that's changed in the sport since the Cats of almost 50 years ago?
When we originally wore those uniforms in the 70s, there wasn't a three-point line in college basketball, so things were very different.
Wow.
Yeah.
And question number 3 has to do with the uniforms shorts. These aren't quite as short as the fellas would have worn in the 70s.
No, the 70s basketball is sort of famous for the short shorts. This is the shortest that Under Armour produces.
The first throwback game was Tuesday night. The second one will be February 26th. One last little piece of trivia. Since UC didn't have the old uniform, the creative team who made it possible actually traced old photos to redraw the Cats' old logo. There's also a vintage Bearcat on the shorts.